I think you should envision yourself in the middle of a fucking ocean, paddling, kicking and screaming to keep your head above water with no land in sight. Because unless you put yourself in that survival mindset, you will not be able to cut the decisions down to right and wrong.
Mitchell Barnes, founder of RYSE 3D, a now multi-million pound 3D printing company creating components for automotive and F1, King's Award winner for innovation and West Midlands Leader of the Year 2025. Take me back. When you first started replacing your mum's washing machines with 3D printers, did you actually believe it would work? What's that line between vision and reality that a lot of founders struggle with?
I think the line between vision and reality has to be completely erased, if you want me to be honest. If you want to achieve some really exciting stuff and chase ridiculous goals, you've got to believe the ludicrousness, because if you don't and doubt enters your mind, you're fucked straight away. You're not going to be able to get there. You have to go at it with no doubt and complete insanity to go, I'm going to go and achieve this. At the start, you have to want it more than your capabilities will get you there. But you have to go, do you know what? It's going to be hard. I'm not going to know everything. I'm not going to know a lot of stuff. But I tell you what, if I focus on that goal and I try and make every effort, every breath I take towards that goal, that's my focus. That's why I'm alive and breathing to go and achieve that. That's going to give you enough of a grit and a passion that you will go and solve the problems that you can't solve yet.
Where does that mindset shift come from? A lot of people don't have it. Where did it come from for you?
Having an absolutely brilliant mum. Mum's fantastic, amazing. Nan and Grandad were awesome. But a terrible, violent, abusive, alcoholic father, I think, to be frank. And I think when you see violence in a home as a child and when you get the shit kicked out of you for years and years and years, and you have quite a brutal upbringing, it toughens you, but it also makes you realise that, you know, you have to have the abilities to survive, and that's where it comes from. You have to change it from, I suppose, I want to achieve just this goal to I need to do it for my survival. I think you should envision yourself in the middle of a fucking ocean, paddling, kicking and screaming to keep your head above water with no land in sight. Because unless you put yourself in that survival mindset, you will not be able to cut the decisions down to right and wrong. Will it move me forward or will it not move me forward? You need to be in that survival mindset. That's the way I see it, and that's the way I always looked at it. You must look at survival. And that will give you the push to do it. People rip car doors off when they're in survival situations, you know?
Yeah.
You do things that you didn't think was possible. So if you can try and hold yourself in that for a long period of time, that gives you the foresight to cut the shit and go, what's going to move me forward? Which decision? And pull the trigger on it.
Moving you forward, clearly you move fast, but what's like the operational secret to innovation? Is it those long nights, or is there actually a process to it?
I think the operational secret to innovation is getting on with it, even if you don't have the tools or the capability. Too many people have their ideas hidden away because they think it's patentable. Patents a lot of the time are pretty useless. You need to talk to people and share your ideas, because you need all those stupid answers to the questions of, oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, I don't think that's a good idea. Well, what do you know about it? You know, Grandad, but actually... And you have to be that annoying toddler going, why? Learning about the world. Because if you take everybody else's perception of how the world is, that's exactly what you're always going to get. You have to create your own perception of how the world looks. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to move the needle.
What has been the hardest part of managing people that you just didn't expect?
The hardest part is probably remembering sometimes to see it from the business's perspective rather than the person's perspective. Sometimes you can actually end up pandering to people, and it causes a problem down the line where you've reinforced a poor behaviour because you wanted that person to feel happy at work. Whereas sometimes we shouldn't be giving you a gold star like a naughty kid at school for making that poor decision. We should actually be reiterating, no, you've gone off the path here. This is not how it should be done. Here's the repercussions. You know, we'll support you to do it right next time.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the hardest thing, is trying to do the right thing for the business and the person at the same time. That's really tough.
So how did you learn that the hard way then?
How did I learn that the hard way? You make mistakes that then affect and cause other issues. And what you realise is that sometimes you can protect a bad apple in the business because of benefits to the business, but then that creates a ripple effect of unhappiness in the team. And then you see overall productivity go down, and you get to the end point where you're like, right, actually, I need to hire slow and fire fast. Where's the business not being supported, right? If you think about the business as kind of like a this thing that can't walk, can't move itself, everyone's got to carry it and share the load and share the weight. You've got to understand who's got too much on their back, who's got too much pressure, who's struggling, where do you need another pillar to support that person.
That's interesting. I've always wondered, what does it feel like as well, managing these people, but being responsible for people's livelihoods at 28 years old?
What does it feel like?
Yeah.
Fella, it feels like you're carrying the world on your back.
Really?
Because I care about the individuals. At the start, it's all about you and what you want to do and what you want to achieve for your life. As that business grows and develops, it starts to become not just about you, but about the people in the business. As the business grows, you want to do it for your employees and grow the business to support their futures and their careers as well. 5 or 6 years ago, when we had a massive contract, it was fantastic. It looked like it was going to propel and rocket the business. They decided then at the very end of it, do you know what, we're going to actually go to China, screw you guys, and pull the contract. We were naive, we didn't read some of the fine print, etc. of the contract. We got hung out to dry, learnt a lot from it. I wouldn't change it. It was probably one of the best things that ever happened, but I had to make 2 people redundant at the time, and having to go through that process and see how that affected those individuals' lives was probably one of the worst experiences I've ever had. So that is when it really realises that you're doing it for everybody else.
You've got many milestones in your ahead of you, and you've had many milestones in the past. I'm curious, what did those milestones cost you personally?
I've got 2 friends left from childhood that are like, 3 that are like proper, I love them to bits, and they're really, really, really good friends. But growing up, you maybe have like a friendship group of 10 or 15 friends, right? Not everyone's a proper friend, they're more acquaintances. You realise that as you get older. But it's the sacrifice of you lose a lot of friends, and it's not through not being a good friend yourself, but you get engrossed in what you are doing, and you have to get engrossed in what you're doing in order to succeed. It can mess up your relationships as well, massively. You ask a lot of your partner, and it requires a lot of commitment, and you're actually asking them to take on a lot of possible loneliness as well.
Really?
Because essentially you're working all the time, right?
Yeah.
So your partner's going to have to deal with the fact that you are going to have to, a lot of the time, put the business first above everything else. You're going to fucking lose yourself. You are going to lose yourself along the way. You're going to start to think, what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? Who am I? Why did I start this? You are going to self-criticize yourself and question yourself a lot of the time. You have those thoughts for yourself where you're like, I don't recognise who's in the mirror. I just think being an entrepreneur and the amount of stress and work that you put yourself through, an hour spent, what you're doing is taking that experience that you learn over a lifetime, you just squashing that down into a small time period. So you almost have accelerated life experience is the best way I can explain it.
Do you think everyone should be an entrepreneur?
No, God no. Why would you want to be? It's really hard. It's really hard. You don't choose it, then you end up just becoming unemployable. And it's not a choice in the end. It's, I've got to do this because what would I do if I didn't? In reality. So should everyone be an entrepreneur? No. Don't be an entrepreneur just because you think it's cool, or you think, you're going to be able to get flash cars and all the rest of it. I'm telling you now, don't buy into the bullshit of what entrepreneurialism is, because it's really hard, and you'll know if it's right for you because you won't be able to stop yourself doing it. Brilliant. People want to be rich, not entrepreneurs, and there's a big fucking difference. There's a big difference between being rich and being an entrepreneur, right? Being rich or being wealthy or having the ability to have freedom and choice is the end goal. But the journey to getting there does not look like that.
When you went for breakfast in 10 Downing Street with the PM, what was the voice in your head saying? The one that you can't really say out loud.
Fucking quit. Scream, quit. Give up. Stop now. Get off. Done. Leave. Yeah. Call an election more than anything.
Wow.
Yeah, that was what was screaming, because I just thought it was really funny. So they brought a load of us together as SMEs in technology and manufacturing to go and speak to the Prime Minister, and we meet Rachel Reeves as well. And I thought it was just a bit of a joke. It was really weird. It was like inviting a load of cows into a fucking steak restaurant and going, don't worry, you're not on the menu, while seeing the other ones getting butchered up in the back. And I was like, this is the dumbest thing I think I've ever been to in my life. What is the point? They were telling us, we're doing Small Business Sunday. Or they're going, we're doing Small Business Sunday. And you're like, I don't care. You're doing Small Business Sunday, but you've just put national insurance up, put minimum wage up, frozen tax bans, increased capital gains, increased corp tax, reduced the ability to do R&D credits. You've got a new employment mandate coming out, new employment rights, that's going to completely screw the country over from next April. But don't worry. What is the point of this? Why did you bring us in to just bullshit and lie? I just didn't understand it. I didn't understand it, didn't get it.
Mitchell, I could talk to you for genuinely hours.
Yeah.
This has been fantastic, but we've got a closing tradition on this
Yeah, of course,
podcast,
dude.
which is where the guest, regardless of who they are, answers this one question.
Okay.
And that is, what is one message that you've never sent, but you wish everyone would receive?
Don't ever give up even when it's over. Right, is what I would say. Don't quit even when it's over. A lot of people fail due to accepting failure. Yeah, and that comes from giving up. Failure is only when you stop and when you give up. So it would be literally just don't give up. No matter how tough it is, no matter if you're fucking depressed and you're unhappy and you're sad, guess what? Be depressed, but you still need to go and achieve what you need to achieve. You need to still crack on with it. If you need to trudge rather than run, fucking trudge. Just get on with it, and your feet will start going faster the more you get closer to that goal.
Wow. Mitchell, this has been genuinely inspirational. I think your story is fantastic from where it's come from, and I'm so glad for this conversation. Thank you for being so open. It's been fantastic to have you on. Thanks for coming.
No problem at all. Thank you very much, dude.